Hello, today I'm with Bob. Bob has spent 17 years in Thailand, including 3 years in Pattaya and previously 14 years in Phuket. Bob is going to give us his perspective on Thailand and maybe offer you some advice on what you should or shouldn't do here.
Listen, the first time I arrived in Thailand, it was amazing. 2 weeks on vacation in the hotel without knowing the language or English. Afterwards, I told myself I have to return to Thailand. I went to Thailand near Katowice. I met 2 or 3 Belgians, some French people. It was great. I went back to Belgium. I told myself this is not possible. I sold everything in Belgium, got a small place, came for 6 months, went back to Belgium, worked for 6 months, came back for 6 months, and did that for several years in Phuket. It's a wonderful country, quite magical, and in a way, a bit dangerous too. When you arrive at the airport, there's one thing you need to do. Take your feelings and put them in a locker. The brain, I wouldn't say to be careful here exactly, but you have to forget about feelings a bit. You need to first discover the people who are wonderful, they can help you out. You can have everything you want here, but there's always a trade-off. I prefer Phuket. Attention, when we talk about Phuket, you have to consider which area as well. Pattaya is still a city. I settled here on the Pratamak side because it's a bit quieter, more laid back, it's relaxed, it's not noisy, that's it. There are some accommodations that are not expensive. Everything depends on how you want to live in Thailand, that's it. The first time, as I said, I came here on vacation, it was really on a whim. And I came back to myself as I explained. And then, I did that for years. I met someone and, we stayed together for almost 14 years. The girls, they never have enough. You can explain anything to them, they'll always do what they want. But that doesn't mean you should be negative either. But it doesn't suit me. That's all. When you're in a relationship, you make decisions together and that's it. That's it, that's all. That's how it is. If she still wants to do it her way, there you go. Thailand is indeed certainly great because there is a certain quality of life here. Do you find that in Belgium? In Belgium, to have a similar life to what I have here, you need to multiply by 3. I mean, you don't get rent like I have here. I have a studio. It's not big, but it has everything you need. There's a pool downstairs and a small gym. I'm sorry, you can't find that in Belgium. I pay almost nothing for rent. It's definitely not expensive. The food, it's the same. Now it's like everywhere. If you want to go to the big restaurants, sure, but there are ways to eat. For me, it costs 200, 300 baht, which means 4 or 5 euros. No, there is no difference. For me, there is no difference because I have been to Hawaii, I have done Krabi, basically all the regions where there are tourists, all the same. In fact, what they are looking for security. They want a man who can take responsibility and have children. It's about eating, having children, having a family and taking care of the family. Because the problem when you have the woman, there's the family behind her. And often. What happened? Well, not enough. You do everything you need to do and you try to make her understand that, I'm not rolling in money either. I have enough to live on. But there you go. If it wants this, it wants that, it wants this. I helped. So, the last time he makes a remark. Yes, but still, I have nothing. Listen, you won't have anything anymore. That's it, that's all. There are many who fall in love with the girls from Pattaya. But actually what happens is that when you've been coming for years, each time you come back, you stay for a while, you start to understand how the system works. But someone who just arrives here, like 3/4 of those who come here, a year later, they're already married. And I know many who got married and ended up with nothing as well. You shouldn't generalize either. That's a bit difficult to answer, I believe.
Has that never ever happened to you before, in your entire life?
No, because it's actually her who is attacking, in quotes.
I mean, if I go to 7-Eleven, Cafe Amazon, anywhere, you don't get harassed, but it's close.
Harass? I wouldn't say that. But once she sees you have a bit of money or something, boom, she'll immediately gravitate towards you. And it's not a question of beauty. They all told me, in fact, that's a phrase I remembered. They say to me, for me, beauty is in the heart. When it comes to traps in Thailand, the very first thing you should do, based on my personal experience, is to be extremely cautious and aware of your surroundings at all times. Those who come here, be careful. Take a locker, take your heart, and put it inside. In Thailand, women are much more chatty than men. In Europe, we tend to do a lot of sweet talking to women. But here, it's the opposite, I've noticed. Respect them, absolutely, in any case, but make them understand that you absolutely need to be respected too.
I imagine you are a man of 50 now. sometimes even 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, sometimes even older. You come from Europe or France. You have a bit of money compared to the Thai standard of living. You might have had one woman in your life, maybe even two. And you arrive here, every corner, there's a woman 25, 30, 35 years old saying you're a handsome man, that she already loves you. And how can you not fall for it?
Yes, that's a woman's question. And for you too to say, well, first of all, it's already happened to me to meet women who tell me 2 days later, I love you. I said, it's funny, you've known me for 48 hours and you already love me. I'm sorry, but for me, truly and deeply loving someone means discovering the person over time and years, that's all. But well, here it's seeking security. They want a man who takes care of them. I know some who have been with the same woman for years, but that's the older generation. I have an acquaintance here who is a good friend of mine. Fortunately, he made it through, and thankfully, who had cancer. I was told my wife came to the hospital every day and slept in a chair next to me at night. Just because I say certain things does not mean they are not all like that, you know. Someone who comes here at first needs to be careful and take their time. That's the thing. You shouldn't rush things.
Do you still think there are regions more suitable for meeting a woman if, for example, one wants to start a family? Or is Pattaya possible too, but well, Pattaya is still the city for easy encounters?
I would say that's true because at one point I traveled with a friend with a backpack. We visited villages and all, and it's true that it's different. You have to remember that these are people who are not going to leave their homes, so it's different. But here, the European who arrives, it's normal that she tried. What's funny is that she always repeats herself. Seems she passes the message every time. When you arrive in the villages, it's not the same. I don't think about it, but I talked about it with an acquaintance, Bruno. I told him, I don't know, maybe I'll go to Morocco. I've been to Morocco. I like Morocco. Maybe one day I'll think I'll go to Africa. It depends on the means. Yes, but be careful. I've already had, yes, but that was in Belgium. So there you go. In Morocco too, I've met some Moroccans. Africa, I've never been. That's why I tell myself maybe one day I'll do Africa. But you need to have some tips. Africa is big too. There are days, yes. Why? Because they tire me out indeed. That's all with their questions. First word, Tilak, where do you live? What do you do? They want to know everything about you. When you ask them questions, they are always unhappy. I know a lot of English and French people, Pattaya residents, more on the Phuket side. I've met many Belgians, but mostly people from Liège. They are party goers, good living people. One person is not the same as another. It's hard to answer this question. The advice is, if he comes here, he should come on vacation. If he really wants to meet a woman to spend his life with, he must accept what he needs, and that's it. You definitely shouldn't overthink it. You meet a young woman. I encountered many. Then I stayed with only one, that's it. I would absolutely say that, well, for people who come here, if it's really to get married, they should really think it through first. Anyway, I think that before getting married, you should always think it through, that's for sure.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thanks a lot for your advice and see you very soon. Subscribe, activate notifications, and see you very soon for a new video. All right, bye. Cheers.